This is a subject for which I have no problem beating the dead horse over. I don't know how to phrase that properly, but you get what I'm trying to say. We've talked a lot about Elizabeth Warren's Native American heritage, and I think it's something worth going into because there's a lot here, right? Cultural appropriation, for instance. This is an idea where, if you are white, say, you shouldn't dress up like a Mexican or, you know, a stereotype or something because it's racist. For one, I, as a noble, liberal, mixed-race person, as most of you know, want and encourage everyone to share in all of my culture. When my white friends say they want Korean barbecue, I don't get angry. I'm not like, oh, but you guys don't understand Korean food like I do. I go, awesome. That's really cool that you guys want to have Korean food. My mom used to make Korean food when I was little. Let's go do it. When I see people who are engaging in some kind of cultural behavior, you know what you do? You know what you do if someone's culturally appropriating something? You don't yell at them and tell them not to do it and they're racist. So if someone comes to me and they're like, hey, I heard about this like X custom that has to do with this culture, and let's say they're getting it wrong and they're being really stereotypical and offensive. Instead of yelling at them, I go, oh, actually it's A, B, and C, 1, 2, and 3, right? Oh, so the thing about, you know, bulgogi and like how they make it, it's yada, 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 and explain it to them. I think it's really, really cool that there are people who want to engage in other cultures. We want to share cultures. We want to share the best things. It's a compliment. It is mind-blowing to me that this idea exists. But so long as the social justice left wants to be offended by it, I have to point out, well, in this story by Vox, but Elizabeth Warren is doing like the worst kind of cultural appropriation, claiming she's literally Native American when she's got blonde hair and blue eyes. She's like, no, okay? I don't know, maybe your eyes are green or something, I can't tell. But look, this is a story from Vox. Cherokee Nation citizens like me are used to people claiming our heritage. It's exhausting. We are fed up with people like Elizabeth Warren claiming Native heritage. What did Elizabeth Warren accomplish by publishing the DNA test? Did she defeat Trump? No, of course not, because Trump doesn't care at all. He's gonna make fun of you with anything. Now they're going to call her, look, Lion Pocahontas. I would not be surprised if he's like, oh, Lion Pocahontas Warren. You know, he's just going to keep tacking on. It's a meme, right? There's a really interesting thing about what Trump does. I watched this documentary the other day. You maybe have seen it. It talks about how Trump uses memes. A meme is just an easily condensed idea that has a potential for virality. So think about how Trump called Ted Cruz Lion Ted, Little Marco, Low Energy, Pocahontas. They're meant to be concise ways to transmit an idea, a big idea, in a very simple way. It's brilliant. Calling her Pocahontas, when Trump is speaking, and he says, oh, and take a look at Pocahontas, what he's actually saying is, and take a look at that woman who lied about her heritage to benefit in her career and claim some kind of marginalized status. All of that condensed into one word. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm not personally saying she lied about her heritage to gain advantages. That's the narrative. That's what he's trying to convey. This is an article from a native. This is Vox's first-person provocative essays. He says, growing up in a predominantly Native American area of rural Oklahoma, it was almost unheard of for someone who wasn't Native to claim your ancestry. For us, that would have spurred a communal backlash. Everyone knew everyone, and to make such a claim would have been seen as dishonest or nefarious. Perhaps then it is dishonest or nefarious for Elizabeth Warren to claim she's Native American. On Monday, I woke to the news that Senator Elizabeth Warren, D., Massachusetts, had provided the results of a DNA test to prove she was in fact Native American. I felt the immediate pangs of dread as the editor of the Cherokee Phoenix, the nation's oldest Native newspaper founded in 1828. I'm constantly fielding questions from people trying to track down their heritage. I'm also constantly getting emails from angry tribal citizens wanting to report someone who is fictitiously claiming to be Native American. This is our reality. We are faced with an onslaught of people who have never lied, who have never lived in our shoes saying, those are my shoes too, simply because they spit into a small hermetically sealed glass tube and got back DNA results that say that they are 7% Native American. And look, 7% is actually substantially higher than Elizabeth Warren got. She's potentially 0.098%, maybe even as high as 3, but nowhere near 7. Too often, Native Americans hear the words, I took a DNA test and. Too often our heritage and racial identity has been co-opted by others for monetary gain, to claim some exoticism in their identity, or simply because someone wanted an excuse to wear a really pretty Halloween costume. But Native identity is not just about tracing a distant ancestor back to our tribe, it's about cultural heritage. our shared experience, and participating in our community. People claiming Native heritage is something we deal with all the time. I'm often amazed at the lengths some people will go in order to become Native American. Our newspaper has reported on groups that create fake organizations under tribal sound names for under $100. A person with no claim to Native American heritage is given a bogus membership card and can walk away with the mindset that they are Native. Now, what's really interesting, I want to point out, is that they even mention, even if you are 7%, 7% is actually kind of high, right, relative to like how much a person has within them, and that might mean a great-grandparent or great-great-grandparent, like not that long ago, was actually full-blooded Native American. But what they're saying is that it's not just that. No matter what Elizabeth Warren wants to claim, what she wants to be, or you know, why she's trying to do it, she's not going to be Native American simply because some of her DNA shows it. Let me stress, the DNA test that Elizabeth Warren took did not claim she was Native American. They looked at Mexican, Peruvian, and Colombian DNA markers, not Native American because you can't. And this is the ridiculous hill that many people on the left are willing to die on. I've explained the idea of memes and Trump and why he makes fun of people. Elizabeth Warren decided that she was going to fight back, that Trump was making fun of her, and she wanted to shake off this negative thing that Trump did. That's not how memes work. That's not how the insult works. It's just a way to peg you with something. All she did by doing the DNA test is, for one, prove that Donald Trump controls the narrative, that she's going to play his game because he called her a word, but it also proves she's literally the Pocahontas character he said she was. There is a narrative being crafted. Trump says you're Pocahontas. The appropriate thing to do, like it may be counterintuitive, is to give them something else to latch onto. In this video I watched the other day, it talks about how the media wants to destroy you, okay? So they will look for one thing and they can make that you. So Pocahontas, Lion Ted, you've become Lion Ted. That's what Trump has done to you. If you change the discussion by doing something else, they can't call you that anymore. But it's not just one more thing. What Trump did during the presidential cycle was because he kept doing ridiculous things, the media couldn't nail down any one thing that could define Donald Trump. If Donald Trump consistently said, you know, woohoo during his rallies, people would mock him by saying woohoo all the time, and that would become him, this caricature of a man saying something ridiculous. But Trump did a ton of ridiculous things, controversy after controversy. All that did was guarantee that people knew his name, but there was no one thing you could point to. There wasn't. It was a million different things. I mean, literally, it was thousands of different things. What's interesting about this is that, look, Vox is left. Obviously, Vox is left-leaning. Elizabeth Warren is generating so much negative press from left-wing outlets. The Cherokee Nation came out, issued a statement saying it was inappropriate. You know what frustrates me is why the left loses so much. It's because these people act like they have sticks up their butts. Literally. Trump is acting, you know, like off-the-cuff, cool, collected, and personable. When you ask Trump, he'll make a face like, oh, get out of here. You know, oh, I'm not gonna, Someone asked him about Elizabeth Warren, and they were like, she bet you, or you said you'd give her $1 million if it proved she was Native, and he goes like, I don't know, you read it again, whatever. And he like poo-poos it, but he acts like he knows you. He acts like it's normal. You look at most of these politicians, and they go, well, I believe that the insinuation was incorrect, right? I was watching that, there's this clip going viral of a debate between these two women in Arizona, a Republican woman and a Democrat woman. And the Republican's going, listen, you claimed X, Y, and Z. Are you going to stand up? And the Democrat woman goes, this is just so ridiculous that she would resort to these attacks. And I'm like, wow. Democrats are these like snooty, elitist, ivory tower types. Not always, but typically. I think one of the reasons Beto O'Rourke is doing as well as he is, because I watched that debate. And once again, Ted Cruz, not so bad. Ted Cruz, not so bad in terms of personality. But Beto is way more personable. Granted, he's pulling like a My Fellow Kids thing by having the skateboard and riding out, and it's kind of cringy, but he's trying to be more down to earth. Too many Democrats have this snooty, arrogant appeal to them. What Elizabeth Warren did clearly pissed off this Native American. The Cherokee Nation said it was inappropriate. They're just so out of touch. I think there's something about Republicans having a better grasp on what the average American is thinking, is doing, or wants, and relates to. The Democrats just don't have it. Perhaps they've been surrounded by, just ivory tower types. Perhaps they genuinely believe that the New Yorker's opinion section is the legitimate opinion of the average American. I don't know what it is. When I look at Elizabeth Warren, I don't see a down-to-earth working-class individual who wants to fight on my behalf. When I see Bernie Sanders, I actually do see that. And I recognize Bernie Sanders is a Vermont progressive he's been a career politician. He's not work with your hands type. But I've seen how Bernie acts. I've seen Bernie walking down the street. He comes off as kind of like a regular dude who's just concerned about the working class, and that's why I've always really liked him. I've lost a little bit of my love for Bernie in the past because I feel like he pandered too hard. There was this genuine, I don't know, something about Bernie where I was like, I've heard him speak before, and I kind of trust him. I believe he's being honest. Elizabeth Warren, to me, is the opposite of Bernie. She didn't endorse Bernie. She went for Hillary, and she comes off. Look, I know she's from Oklahoma, but she really does come off as an out-of-touch, snooty elitist. And this, in my opinion, is just an excuse to try and be like, I mean, look, it's pure cultural appropriation, don't get me wrong. It's just, the left just doesn't know how to win, I guess. They don't know how to be tough and personable. They don't know how to be compassionate but strong. You need to explain to people, listen, I will fight for you. I believe in you, and I want you to believe in me, and I'm going to do what it takes to make sure we do what's right for everyone in this country. That's what it's about. It's about showing that you're strong, you care, and you're listening to the people. The fact that the Cherokee Nation came out and said this, it was inappropriate. The fact that you've got an op-ed from Vox where they're like, it's wrong for her to do this, says to me, she's totally out of touch. And it's bad for the Democrats, and it's exhausting. Anyway, I got one more video coming up in just a few minutes, and I believe this next one is going to be about voter ID and illegal immigrants voting in the blue wave, so stick around, coming up in a few minutes.